Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? I'm just going to let this sit and do its thing for a minute because I have some pretty big updates that I have to give out, apparently, because some people have been sending me a bunch of hey, hells. Some people have been sending me a bunch of hate messages over the reel that I ended up putting out. I have an admission to make. I am looking at being homeless in 9 days, maybe 10. That's why I've been quiet on here. That's why I haven't been doing much for reels or anything else. And in a lot of cases, everything that I have been putting out has been for my mental health, to try to have some sense of humor about everything that's going on. Because with everything that's going on, like I said, I'm not making fun. I'm not trying to look for sympathy or whine. I'm just letting you know that the reason why content has been rather limited is because I am looking at being homeless. What ended up happening was February 14th, things ended up going pear-shaped, and now I am looking at not just being, single, whatever you want to say, but also I've been trying to find somewhere to live since the 14th of February. Now, for those of you that aren't in the know, I have two very young children that are under 5 years old. One is 3, the other one is 2. Now, I have been trying to be very proactive to try to find somewhere to live, to try to find assistance. I have, ended up getting a hold of everybody as much as possible to try to get some sort of assistance from, the disability support program, from other municipal possibilities to get help with finding affordable housing. Now, like I said, in my search to try to find, a 1-bedroom apartment, a studio apartment, 2-bedroom apartment, whatever you want to say, that storage container ad had ended up coming up out of the middle of nowhere, and it really kind of hit home when I ended up seeing that it was listed as a 1-bedroom apartment or studio apartment. And how people keep on saying, the housing crisis this, the housing crisis that, it's invisible and nobody sees it. Well, I'm telling you right now, the housing crisis is a lot worse than what people actually realize. Like I said, I have 2 small children, and I have been trying to find somewhere to live where I can actually have my children there and everything else. I'm not going to end up getting into other aspects of it, but some of it is just way too personal to end up talking about on here. I know, right? Here I am talking about becoming homeless, and I'm saying that that the other parts are just way too personal to talk about. Well, those of you that think that I was trying to make light of a situation, meaning I was trying to put some form of humor into it, you are completely wrong. I was trying to build awareness. I was trying to let people know this is how bad it's gotten. And these are the ads that are coming up for people that are looking for houses. People that are, in the same position as I am, where they're on a disability pension and they're trying to find an affordable home for them and their children, yet to end up finding out that housing at this point in boarding houses and, all the rest of that stuff, where rooms started originally at $600 a month, have gone up and ballooned to anywhere between $1,000 to $1,700 a month. Now, to put that into perspective, a person on the Ontario Disability Support Program ends up receiving maybe $1,450, and that's to cover everything. I have tried getting in touch with the housing, geared to income housing corporation that's local, and they keep on saying that there's nothing that they can do to help. That the need is out there that is so bad that they won't even try to let you know where you are on, any kind of a list. I had ended up getting in touch with another support group to find housing here. And just to be told that from February 14th, I would end up having to wait a minimum of 6 to 8 weeks. And that's if they actually can get to me in time. Now, 6 to 8 weeks ended up meaning that I was going to be homeless anyway at that point. So, yeah, you're bringing reality to the reality to light. Some people don't understand how easy it was, how fast to be homeless. Yes, exactly, Pop. So, to those of you that have ended up hitting me up in my DMs, because apparently I've had over 8,000 views on that reel, whether it's between Facebook or Instagram, doesn't matter. Over 8,000 of you have seen that. And I've ended up getting quite a few messages bawling me out, telling me that I'm trying to make fun of the situation, to wit, I am not. I am letting you know that, as some people have ended up calling me, like their favorite Instagrammer and all the rest of that stuff, that, I should be making money off my reels and everything else, which I'll end up answering you with, it's kind of hard when, even though I'm in Canada and I'm in Ontario where everything is going on, Meta for some reason feels I don't live in a monetizable country or have monetizable content. So I don't make anything from my reels at all that I end up putting out, even my educational reels about growing and stuff like that. I have ended up getting in touch with the MPP from my area, and actually their office, and the person on the other end of the line literally went and said, there is nothing we can do to help you. Get a hold of, county housing, if that's the way I'm going to try to put it without putting too much of a location on it. And there's always this other program. My worker ended up hitting me with a lot of money that I have to pay back for some reason because of their mistake. So now my $14.50 or $14.05, something like that, has ended up putting me into an overpayment of over $1,900 at $50 a month being paid back. That should end up telling you that I'm going to be paying that back for a while, plus interest because of somebody else's screw up at ODSP that's handling my file. And I ended up being told too bad about that, and if you need help, there's this place. Can't help you otherwise. Have a great day. And in all honesty, not that I'm trying to, make fun of a situation or anything else, but I mean, right now I'm actually looking at living in a ditch in a tent and losing my kids, my cats, and everything I've ended up working so hard to, take care of. Some of you have in the past ended up asking why I've ended up posting political stuff from like Mario for the North and stuff like that. Well, now you know why. I'm actually trying to bring awareness to everything that's going on, and now you're actually witnessing what has been going on in this country to the point where I am now going to be possibly looking at being homeless in the next 9-10 days. Like I said, I've ended up trying to go around to find assistance from every part that I can. And I keep on being told that, unfortunately, because I am not a woman that's trying to escape a domestic abuse situation, not making fun, just repeating what I have been told. Okay? And this is from other community support programs that are available. That because I am not transgender, that because I am not female, there are no other places for me to go, because the other shelters that are family shelters, back at you, Steve, like the rest of the shelters are, exactly just for women that are escaping abusive situations with their children, which is something that is needed in this society. But also, you have to remember that there are single men out there that have children that are in the same position as a lot of women out there, and there are no supports out there for men in this position. Now, with that being said, why am I shedding light on this, or trying to blaze light onto it? It's because I am literally letting you guys know that it isn't just for people that, have all of a sudden, he's a crackhead, he's, out on the street because of, this addiction, or, that person is, talking to the walls. So obviously, they're homeless because they're a little, they're in a sign of, mental distress or psychological illness. So here I am. There should be programs for single dads just like there are for single moms. There actually isn't. Not in my area. Unfortunately. I have tried looking for them. I have ended up getting a hold of Services Ontario. Everything. And like I said, I have even gotten in touch with my MPP, which would be the equivalent of the American Member of Congress for your area. And there's nothing that they can do. So I have been fighting like heck to find somewhere to live that's affordable since February. I have been trying to be there for my younger children daily as much as I can. I have been trying to pack this house up as best as I can. And now it's to the point where I'm not going to have a choice. I am going to be losing everything short of this phone and whatever I can end up packing into a backpack. People have ended up saying, trying to give me ideas such as, why don't you try to put a GoFundMe out to try to help you find somewhere, to try to help you, build up some money to, try to find somewhere to live. Problem with that is I tried that on my main account. My original main account, my Papa Bear Does account. It's been deactivated. And the reason why it was deactivated is because of community standards. And that was it. So that possibility ended up going way of the dodo. So like I said, I'm not saying I'm giving up. I'm not saying that, I'm trying to make fun of a situation at current. A lot of people also end up saying there's no such thing as men's mental health crisis or epidemic at hand. There is. And if people can't see it, then all people have to do is just open their eyes, because it's going on in front of your eyes right here. I am also doing this so that I can actually end up addressing a lot of the DMs I've ended up receiving, and this is going just basically as a blanket statement, such as, now you understand what's going on. Now you understand why I ended up putting that out there. And now people should really pay attention to what's going on, especially when it ends up coming to, a lot of your favorite creators that are out there. A lot of us need, your support as best as possible. I'm not asking you to send me financial support or anything else. What I'm asking is that you send this out, you share this out, and you end up bringing awareness to what's going on. That's also why I have been putting statuses up and saying, well, this is how many days, and so on and so forth. Now, I know some people aren't cat people or whatever, and that's fine. I don't care. People are people. And in my opinion, in a situation like this, in the long run, there's only two aspects that end up paying the ultimate price for this. One is your children, because they're put in the middle, and the other one is your pets, because out there, in a lot cases, nobody is allowing anybody to rent a house, an apartment. C can, if you have pets, in some cases. So, I'm not trying to look for sympathy, either. I'm sorry, Steve, I don't mean for that to seem like I'm giving you a smack, yes, I know I'm getting bent over pretty hard. But like I said, I just want to try to bring awareness to a situation that's going on. And I have been I have been in touch with even the Howard Johnson Society, or, like all the rest of these places. And I keep on being told that either there's no funding for me because I'm not part of a niche enough, demographic, or I'm just being told that straight up there is no funding to help right now because of the homeless situation that's going on at hand. So, again, all I'm asking is for you to share this out and to end up bringing some light to what's going on after I'm finished here. I'm not saying I'm done putting out reels. I'm not saying I'm quitting or anything else, because I've decided I'm going to document absolutely as much as I can through everything that's been going on. And so that you guys know for a fact just how hard it is right now. I'm not talking about the price of oil. I'm not talking about the price of gas. I'm not talking about, the rest of the wars that are going on as we speak. I'm talking about what's going on here at home, and what's going on, and how people are being pushed aside and being told they don't matter. I'm telling you right now, yes, you do matter. Yes, it's an uphill battle. And I know it's going to be an uphill fight, no matter what I do. But there are other people out there that are victims of human trafficking, that are having a hard time finding a place. There's other people out there that are victims of abuse, assault. There are people out there that are victims of their own mental health, that are having a hard time finding a place. The area that I live in, there are housing for people that are in transition between going from a treatment center to their own housing and everything else. But unfortunately, they don't actually allow children in those facilities in some cases, unless you are their mother. The only other men's shelter that's in my area, one does not accept animals, which I get, it happens, but they also don't accept children there for their own safety, which I ended up being told, and I totally understand that completely. So for single fathers in the area that I'm in, the only option you end up having is trying to get a hold of the Stay Out of the Cold program, and you end up getting one night in a motel, and that's it. So, yes, granted, a lot of us are being bent over by the government and all the rest of it. And yes, there are a lot of us that are out there being, that are struggling for somewhere to live. And I get it. I just want to bring it to your attention that it's literally happening in front of you, and a lot of people don't see it. Arfan, maybe you can try renting a room inside of a house for now, trying to find one of those. You see, that's the thing, is I have been trying to find a place that is a room, And the ones that are affordable are already gone, that are $1,000 a month, and everything else is higher than what a disability pension will actually cover, not including food, phone, and so on and so forth. Now, for those of you that don't understand, you actually have to have a phone if you're on the ODSP program or on a disability pension, so that your worker can get in touch with you at a moment's notice, so on and so forth, end up sending communication back and forth. Not only that, but today's society is so internet dependent that you cannot just walk in somewhere and try to fill out a form. It's go to this website, download this form, fill it out, bring it in. I don't have a printer. And you don't accept anything by way of virtual. So I can come down to the office and pick up a form, but I have to leave the office before filling it out and then come back the next day. That's fine and dandy, but, when it ends up coming to somebody that's actually trying to find somewhere to live, it is next to impossible out there. So, like I said, to those of you that have been flaming my inbox trying to say that I'm making fun of a situation that I really shouldn't be making fun of, I'm not. There are a lot of those houses in Brampton or close to Humber College renting rooms. Yep, exactly. You're right. There will be. I'm not in Brampton, unfortunately. And even then, a lot of them for less than $1,000 or $1,000. Exactly. I can't have children there. That's the problem. So, a lot of people end up saying, there's no problems out there for men and everything else, and that men get all the help that they require. No, men don't. And I'm letting you know. As always, I'm Papa Bear. Hope you take care of each other. Peace.